All right, this is going to be a really quick one because I just don't think I can talk for 10 minutes straight. I have been coughing up a storm. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have 6 packs by the end of Saturday because my stomach is so flipping sore from all this coughing that I have to. This has to be what an ab workout feels like, right? Mariners lose 6-5. They fall to 3-5 on the season. They lose the first of the 3-game series against the Brewers. Quickly go over the scoring plays. Diamondbacks are not the team that the Mariners played. Why do I have the Diamondbacks in my head? I don't know. Willie Adames homers to right to make it 1-0 Brewers, and Joey Ortiz doubles to right to score Sal Frelick. That's 2-0 at the end of the second. Oliver Dunn, who played a really good game today, homers to right center. First MLB homer. Wish it came against a different team, but good for you, buddy. 3-0 at the end of 4. Mariners bounce back nicely in the 6th. Mitch Haniger singles home J.P. Crawford. Mitch Garver hits a sacrifice fly. And Cal Raleigh singles. It's weird to call that a single because the ball was just absolutely blistered. That scores Mitch Haniger, though, and ties the game at 3-3. Doesn't stay tied for very long as Christian Yelich homers to right. Mivza gives the Brewers a 4-3 lead in the 6th inning. Brewers get some insurance on an infield single. I'll talk about that being a single in a second. To score Wilson Contreras, that makes it 5-3. But the Mariners bounce back in the 9th. Bounce back is an understatement. Luis Arias hits a ground rule double to score Dylan Moore, and Julio Rodriguez grounds out the shortstop, but it scores to run 5-5 at the end of the top of the 9th. Doesn't stay tied for very long again as Wilson Contreras walks with the bases loaded to score Sal Frelick 6-5. All right, your positives for this game are easily the most complete offensive effort I've seen from this team all year. And that's darting with faint praise to be sure, because there have been some atrocious offensive efforts, but certainly the most complete effort I've seen from them this year. J.P. Crawford gets on twice. Julio drives in the big run. Jorge Polanco gets on twice. Mitch Garver gets the big sac fly. Mitch Haniger, I don't know how he kept that ball fair, but shows that he is, the numbers aren't great, but he's been, I think, one of the more consistent offensive options so far. Cal Raleigh, just the one hit, but had a couple of really nice at-bats tonight. Luis Urias drives a baseball for a big old double and had one other nice at-bat too. So, wasn't great, but it was a pretty solid offensive effort. And it's nice to see after the anemicness that was Wednesday. I think a day off did this team well. I think a day off did this team really well. Unfortunately, it still ends with an L. But this was a much more complete offensive effort that gives you the flashes of what this lineup can be. Even with no Ty France, who, congratulations to him, of course, going to take care of his fun situation, and Samad Taylor joining for like 3 days or whatever. Congrats to you, Ty France. That's the biggest positive to take. Congrats, buddy. Any other positives for the pitching? The only positive we really have is Cody Bolton. He was solid, kept the team in the game. We like to see that. He's mostly been okay. I have very little confidence in him long term. Whenever the other guys are ready to go, he's got to be one of the first down, I think. There are some negatives to talk about here. I'm going to do a very quick ad read because I can feel it just building up in my throat. Simply Seattle is the best. You can find all of their great stuff at simplyseattle.com. If you use code MOLLYWOP15, you can save 15% off your order. MOLLYWHOP15. Link in the description. Please show them their support, my support, by entering that code. It's very, very much appreciated. Okay, Logan Gilbert was pretty shaky. Now, when he kept the ball in the park, he was pretty good, but he allowed 3 homers. That can't happen. That can't happen. This team is not good enough to survive Logan Gilbert 3-homer games. It's just not. It's just not. I mean, the swing and miss stuff was mostly there. And if you take away the second inning, Gilbert was pretty solid. But you can't take away the second inning. Can't take away the homers. It's not fair that Logan Gilbert and George Kirby and Luis Castillo are charged with being they have to be so dang good because the rest of the team isn't good enough, at least in my humble estimation. It's the way of the world. It's the way it is right now. This is a pretty shaky at best outing from him. The defense tonight was okay. I wanted to talk about, just real quick, how that's not an error on J.P. Crawford. Like, I talk about my frustrations with umpires. I don't think I talk enough about my frustrations with scorekeepers. They're bad. And some of that has to do with, I think, Major League Baseball maybe putting a little pressure on these guys to make the box scores look a little better, because a hit looks a lot better than an error. But that's an error on JP Crawford. It's a ball that's hit right at him. Has to make that play. I don't care if it took a 500-foot bounce. Well, okay, that's hyperbolic, but you know what I'm saying. You have to stay in front of that baseball. That's an error. That is an error. I get so frustrated with that. But outside of that, I think the defense was okay. Not great, but okay. The bullpen outside of Bolton, Stanek wasn't great. Now, look, if JP Crawford makes that play, he gets out of that inning without giving up a run, but he's not looked great. He threw a nice splitter to Yelich today, who outside of the homer, Yelich was terrible today. But it's a little concerning. This is your second best reliever right now. I would actually say that Spire is your second best reliever by a long shot. But he wasn't great. And Andres Munoz, boy, oh boy. Now, here's what I'll say about Munoz. He wasn't missing by a lot. There were some borderline calls, and I will give Milwaukee credit for laying off some pitches that were just outside of the zone. Good for them. But yeesh. 9 of 26 pitches for strikes. That's ugly. That's really ugly. And, he's got to be better. Andre Munoz has a lot of pressure on him. Not just normal pressure being the best reliever and stuff, but there's no Paul Sewald. There's no Matt Brash right now. There's no Gregory Santos. So when he falters, it's obvious either way, right? You're going to notice when your closer, your best high leverage reliever falters. But it's even more obvious when you don't have anything behind him. Tough one today. I do, again, want to give credit for Milwaukee. They light off some pretty good pitches. But, man, you got to throw strikes, buddy. Can't happen. You cannot have 9 of 26 pitches land in the strike zone. Not good enough. And unfortunately, it's another game where they're just not good enough. Great news, 154 to go. Bad news, first 8 aren't a great sign. Lots of time to turn it around and all that crap. But you know that. I want to see the team win games. Chance to do that tomorrow with Bryce Miller against DL Hall. Want to see Hall, or I don't want to see Hall do well. I'm not rooting against him every other game, but I want to see Miller show more consistency than he did in that start against Boston. The coughs are coming. I got to go. Thank you so much. Please hit like and subscribe. They're going to win. They're going to win more games. They're going to win more games. And everybody says I'm such a negative guy. They're going to win more games.